And hello all you archaeologists. I'm the Johnstruct. Welcome to the proximity. I'm about to begin my Final Fantasy X Redemption. What does that mean? It means I've tried to do an adventure before and I never finished it. So I've been streaming as the Johnstruct for over a year now. I mean, I started off as a different name, but halfway through the pandemic, I probably tried getting into streaming, and I'm pretty happy with it, to be honest. But I actually streamed this when the HD came out on the PlayStation 2. I'm now playing on the PC. So there's a little bit of extra novelty there. I was a little bit worried about replaying this game in my my mission, my ambition of playing all the Final Fantasies. I don't have those buttons right now because I've got a thing that makes all the Final Fantasies come up on the screen, and I don't have. I'll have to copy them across. I'm trying to play all the Final Fantasies. And of course, Final Fantasy X is one of them, even if it's one I've played relatively recently. I thought it'd be nice to get like an official finished version on the YouTube as well. And because I've recorded it and never finished it, this is a redemption and not an adventure. But yeah, now we have access to a fast forward button, which does not work on this screen. I think this screen can be skipped though. But yeah, how do I feel about playing this again? You know what? Not too bad actually. Crisis Core is coming out. A remaster of that. Another game that I've started and never finished. And I realised, there we go, Final Fantasy X. I wanted to finish Dirge of Cerberus, which I will, and I wanted to finish. There we go. Do you know how difficult it is to find that particular logo on the internet with all the white in the correct place? Quite difficult. It's a large, unwieldy logo. Anyway, yes. So I was trying to play lots of games in preparation. I played Final Fantasy 1, Final Fantasy 2, Final Fantasy 3, Final Fantasy 4, Final Fantasy 5, Final Fantasy 6, Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 9. But I haven't finished Vagrant Story yet. I've not finished Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lions because I might as well play the remaster. I have watched the Final Fantasy 5 sequel series. I have watched Final Fantasy Unlimited. I haven't finished watching not even Advent Children, Spirits Within, but I will have to watch Advent Children for Crisis Core. Anyway, my point is that Final Fantasy X is clearly on the way to Crisis Core, so I can play it. Let's not watch this entire screen again. And I figured, why not? Let's give it a go. I mean, I say give it a go as if I couldn't do this expertly. So every time I see this screen, I always go, ooh, maybe I'll play on the standard. No, there's no reason to play on the standard. There's never any reason to play on the standard. I'm playing on the expert. This is the one I want, yeah. I'll play the arranged version again, because I still don't know it as well. So we're going to be here for a couple of hours, but I probably will be back later today. I've not done a lot of gaming this weekend, and I want to do lots of gaming. I've just been very tired. But especially with the access to the fast forward button, I feel like we'll be able to burn through this as well. The thing about tactics is it's quite difficult, so you can play for a couple of hours and then die and go, I don't feel like playing anymore. And the thing with Dirge of Cerberus is it's wonky as fuck. So you can play for an hour and be like, I don't want to play any more of this. Whereas this, I can just sort of keep playing, you know? And also, I've never played Final Fantasy X-2. And that's sort of what I'm looking forward to. I've been, I want to play all the side Final Fantasy games, but the most interesting ones are all these sort of like sequels to established ones, which does mean I have to play the sequels to the early ones as well. They count. But also, it's kind of nice to return to those systems. It's nice to get to the HD games. I won't lie. Like, Final Fantasy 13, a game that I thought was bad at the time, was kind of a breeze to play because it was all shiny comparatively to, like, the the Pixel games. No, I thought the Pixel remasters looked great. This is a long intro. But the other thing is, because I played Final Fantasy 1, Final Fantasy 2, Final Fantasy 3, Final Fantasy 4, Final Fantasy 5, Final Fantasy 6, Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 9, I will get to 8. I'm just waiting for them to get the HD backgrounds working. Is that I get to see all the references. It was fun in 9 going, oh, like you're referencing things from Final Fantasy 1 and lots of 7 actually as well. So, like, I feel like I know this game very well.
To my story.
Very well, but we'll see.
Maybe our last chance.
I feel like this is acknowledgement that the official logo is unwieldy as fuck. It takes so much room. So, like, I had a hell of a time making this little wallpaper, which I like to have little wallpapers, just because, like, I guess it's just the PS2 era, just, you didn't get anything in HD, and so all the official pictures are really thin as well. Like, older stuff, it's kind of easy to kind of compile a bunch of the arts and assets and upscale it, but it's just the exact era where apparently it's just really difficult to get the assets you want. Like, I was going to play this for 4 hours. I spent 2 hours building that background, which nobody cares about apart from me. So, one thing, which kind of so it works perfectly with my Xbox controller, which is great. But okay, and of course we have access to. Oh fuck! Don't turn supercharge on. Okay, I might as well show you. We have options. If I press escape on the keyboard. Oh yeah, for some reason A and B are switched, but we probably won't be using any of these. So hide could be quite nice. Auto battle, that would be great for training. If I want to be lazy, probably, maybe if it gets annoying, I'll consider these options. Right? Supercharge probably won't. I don't know what that means, but I don't think I'll ever press it. Turbo, yes, we're going to be making plentiful use of the turbo button. Because when I played it on the PlayStation 4, it didn't have the turbo button as far as I know. So now we can go like that in double speed. Meow. Now, why don't I put it on my controller, like using this spare button here, which I can use joy to key, which I specifically did for Final Fantasy 9. It doesn't acknowledge it. Just, I don't know why. It's kind of annoying. I might put it on the Stream Deck though. It's easy enough to do. Let's sign some autographs.
Can you sign this?
No problem.
We're going to be Tidus because... No! Ah! There we go.
Please?
Alrighty.
Me too!
Take it easy.
Now, I won't be streaming at the same resolution I'm seeing it at, but I'm seeing it at full resolution, which I don't think the PlayStation 4 actually had, so I'm seeing a slightly better looking version. Let's find Mysterious. You look interesting.
The game tonight. It's very important.
Okay, we're not quite there yet.
I've been a big fan of yours from the very beginning.
I won't let you down.
Thanks! Can I have your autograph?
Of course.
Good luck tonight!
Nothing to worry about. Oh, if I score a goal, I'll, do this. That will mean it was for you.
Yeah!
What seat?
He's blocking the front row! Fifth from the right!
Got it.
You got to remember that hand sign. Okay, there we go.
Well, gotta go. Cheer for me.
2, 3. Teach us how to blitz.
Hey, I got a game to play.
Then teach us after.
Maybe tonight, well...
You can't tonight.
I mean, tomorrow.
Promise?
Promise.
Imagine a sport having like that sort of elegant of a like they're normally full of energy. They're not normally flowy, if that makes any sense. This is sort of the most interesting bit of the game, right? Because we get to see Zanarkand before it fell. Those murals in the background. Is his dickhead dad?
I was in a coffee shop running away from home when I heard the news. Our hero, Jecht, gone, vanished into thin air. My dad must have been his biggest fan. I knew how sad he'd be. Heck, we all were that day. Zanar, I says to myself, what are you thinking? I went running straight back home. We sat up talking about Jecht all night.
It's weird that we get a sort of Wonder Years.
Make way.
We never hear of Zanar ever again in this game.
Through. Sorry.
Star player, the Zanarkand Apes.
I'm gonna be late.
I don't know where he is. I can't see him.
Hey, let go of me.
Oh, there he is. Look at this technology. He's pushing for the crowd. Oh, look at this. Yeah, pay attention to the stadium. It's going to be important later. How do they get widescreen's version of these videos? Oh yeah, I guess this would have been the first Final Fantasy with the official instruments rather than MIDI. Because like the "don't you give up on it." It's very strange at the time. And also, I think his costumes. I'm used to it nowadays, but like at the time, his costume was considered garish. Pull one out. Pull one up. I feel like the general population would have noticed the tidal wave a little earlier. Maybe not the people playing sports, but like... He didn't do the thing! He was supposed to do the thing! So, I consider... So, I've never played Final Fantasy X-2, but I do know the story. And like all games with lots of sequels, let's say Metal Gear Solid, I always consider like the original game a canon in of itself, especially if it was built like that, and then it and its sequel as a separate canon. Speaking of canons, I mention this because how real is this Zanarkand? Because according to according to 10.2, well, I guess according to this, I'll pay attention. We're getting into spoiler territory, because everything is real anyway. Just because it was dreamt up by the Faith, it doesn't mean it doesn't physically exist. clearly does. He's able to walk around and do stuff. But like, I mention all of this because when Sin was approaching the city, the buildings were like being sucked into it. They weren't crumbling like the damage here. They were warped into them. And obviously, for Auron to even get here, something weird's going on, right? Auron can't go back in time.
Auron! What are you doing here?
I was waiting for you.
Also, he knows Auron. So things like, just the way you're sitting is very strange. What was I going to say? Going this way. We've seen that one same girl, like, every time we pass the street. I know there's only so many, and that boy, because he had that, and her. She's passing twice. I just gotta go! Oh, it's you.
Huh?
I know, they only had so many people.
It begins.
What?
Don't cry.
Alright, so obviously you can't pause time in real life either, so this tells us that we are in... this is the dream.
What the?
But like, I guess the point I'm making is I always thought that Tidus... Playing the original game, I assumed Tidus was literally the original person. That he was sort of plucked. Even though he's a dream, you know... I guess it's what a lot of people get confused about, because they say that... I don't think the plot to this is that confusing, but the mechanism of that, it's curious. And so, like, the interpretation of 10.2, which is like, no, they just sort of remixed, does make sense. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm just sort of looking for clues towards that. We'll be paying attention with that in mind. And I guess so far, yeah, it all makes sense. Why Sin needs to come here? Like, why? Because that happened in the original timeline. Okay, fair enough. We'll be doing lots of that, lots of like, hey, what is that? Oh, yeah, the story says. Okay, fair enough. This is an enjoyable moment because it's like, oh shit, it's way too heavy, and then it just uses it fine, like from every moment after that.
A gift from Jack.
My old man?
But I hate that guy. It's like the one thing.
I hope you know how to use it. These ones don't matter. We cut through.
Okay, I'm probably want to put myself on that side then. So you can't see the health, but you can see if I'm doing poorly. Bull attack. We have skills, we have power break, lower enemy strength. I really do like the combat system. I might play that Lord of the Rings. Let's make myself so I'm actually on the screen. And we'll, I guess, try and put myself slightly to the right there, because they're... I mean, that's worse, because now I'm teasing you with the idea that you can see health. Let's just attack a thing.
Don't bother going after all of them. Cut the ones that matter and run.
Spines. Spines and pines. Spines. No, it's spines in brine, John. Whatever. We're gonna keep attacking. So yeah, I think for me, like, this might not be my favorite Final Fantasy because it's 7, but it grew in a way that I liked. This is like the peak Final Fantasy, and I love 12 as well, but like, I would have just loved more Final Fantasies in this engine. It's sad that they have to keep remixing, and that's what I mean. I might just play that Lord of the Rings game that uses exactly the same engine, because it's the same engine. I'll put it on the list, certainly. You can see me not fast forwarding. We're in cutscene at this point. So there's no way to sort of elegantly go quickly and then unquickly. You've got to cycle through them all. That's kind of annoying. Ooh. Yes.
Get out of my town!
Some can't wait to die.
It's a weird thing for them to say. Yeah. Okay, sorry. It took me a couple of readings for me to understand what you said. Oh, I didn't move the writing along. There we go. The writing should be over there. Yeah, there should be there should be 8 more Final Fantasies with this system. Okay, I know what the average drive gauge is. We don't need to. We'll use some Dragon Fang on all of these folks. Hello, Gwith. Oh, I've forgotten how to do this. Fuck. We'll be fine. I know what I'm doing. Oh no, I've forgotten what I'm doing. It's been a while, alright? Is that on because I pressed help? Yeah, I forgot everyone had all these gimmicks. This looks really good. I did play it on my PlayStation 4 when it came out, but like we're at a much higher resolution, I think. I don't know if it's much higher. Also, might want to consider healing. I'm not going to heal. Let's see what happens if we lose here. We should actually consider using Power Break. I think this game did a really good job of actually forcing you to use all the cool little extra powers. We're not going to die because it's only demiing us, isn't it? That's why we've lost so much health. Don't think we need to power break again. See, then I wish I could stick the auto button on the controller as well. See, if I put them on my stream deck, I won't accidentally press the overpower button. Cool. We should consider healing them. No, that's not happening apparently. Let me undo the fast forward.
What are you laughing at, old man? Lauren, let's get out of here.
We're expected.
Huh? Give me a break, man.
Oh, this is the one where they teach us to occasionally hit things that aren't the enemies. Yeah, I think the presentation's really good in this as well. With like, it does the sort of Kingdom Hearts thing where it acknowledges that things are going on in the background of the scene. That's the one I shouldn't have hit. Okay, I'm actually going to use some potions now.
This could be bad.
Hit that thing!
Knock it down.
What?
Trust me, you'll see.
We can spare the potions. I guess 2 games with the ATB if you count Final Fantasy, Lord of the Rings. It is immune to Power Break, but it still hits. It is a generous game. Yeah. Yes. The one cutscene skip I'm going to enjoy very much is fighting Jekt. No, not Jekt, Seymour. On Mount Gagazet. I'm a little low.
Sure.
Oh yeah, because he's talking to Jekt.
This is it. This is your story. It all begins here.
Oh yeah, one thing I found out is that Auron is 35, which means he's an old man at 35, which means he's younger than I am.
Hey!
My old man?
Okay, I can't really look around. Camera goes where it wants to go. Wanted to look at the Yevon symbol.
I thought about a lot of things. Like where I was, what I got myself into.
Yeah, I would have thought about that as
Started
well.
to feel lightheaded, and then sleepy. I think I had a dream of being alone. I wanted someone, anyone beside me, so I didn't have to feel alone anymore.
My tea's getting cold. Damn, I barely started. Oh no, we're half an hour in. Okay, that would explain why my tea's getting cold. Yeah, it feels filled in a way that Final Fantasy 13 definitely wasn't.
Anybody there?
Bird.
Auron! Hey!
Well, I was saying, even 9. 9 feels like there's a lot, like, not like there's gaps in Final Fantasy 9. So, with Final Fantasy 9, okay, this is where I played it recently because I'm trying to play all the Final Fantasies, right? And I had a relatively enjoyable experience. The first time I played Final Fantasy 9, I did not like it. It was that fucking tap of walking through up every single corridor. The fact that, you know, towns no longer existed. Okay, let me turn that off during the cutscenes. And then I remember, it's like 20 hours, 30 hours in, when you can switch your team around. Like, it feels like it starts there. That's like, the system doesn't feel like it makes any sense until you get to there. And that's really far in. Like, something happens at 10 hours as well. It's like 10 hours and 20 hours. But then I just stopped playing for a year, and I completed it a year later. And I really liked the end of that game. And having replayed it, I really enjoyed the end of that game. But, like, you've got to do a lot to get to there. Okay, no. Yeah, I want to be able to switch between 2 and 0, not 2, 3 and 0. But, it's going to be interesting comparing this to 12. But yeah, all I wanted in 13 was a turn-based game, and I didn't get it. Instead, we got so many 13s. But I finished 13. I have never finished 15. That is Sahagan. It is. Not sure what's going on. Other than learning he's very good at underwater combat, which is... Oh, yes, of course. I remember being grumpy that Final Fantasy 13 had achievements that I was never going to do, because achievements had just come out, and Final Fantasy 10, a game I would love to have achievements, didn't have achievements because it was a PlayStation 2 game. Giosgano, I don't know how to pronounce that name. Yeah, I think I'm going to use a potion. That does not speed up. Oh yeah, there's John. You can use it with impunity, because I'm going to have to use a high potion, aren't I? Nope, shouldn't have used that. Didn't realise he had only 500 health. Should have just hit him. I already know I can't beat him. He's a boss for later. Was it Final Fantasy 9 and Kingdom Hearts that has a sort of cage boss? There we go, we've made it away. Wasted a high potion, but these things happen. I suspect we'll be fine.
I had made it out of the frying pan and into the freezer. I thought I was gonna die in this place.
I watched a GDC on camera shake because in 3D space you should do camera shake differently than 2D space for like maximum I don't know, for goodness I don't have the words and they did it wrong here. They just did that, which is you want the sort of minimal effort for maximal output. Because you don't actually want to make people feel ill by going really fast. You want to imply quickness, shakiness. So on a 2D plane, you use all that you have available to you. But in 3D, you don't have to. You can tilt, and it has the sort of similar effect. I think it's tilt, rather than going in and out and up and down.
Fire.
You rock. This is a weird little section. It's a little plot section where, okay, where you have to grab stuff. Again, sort of reminds me of Kingdom Hearts, where you have to do that sort of hide and seek. We'll save our game. So, I will, for the time being, no, I'm just going to focus on completing the game, but I'll keep all my saves. Because it's 2022. I've got space for saves. That's the room you came from, John. Did it turn all the sounds off at ×2 though? Yeah, it does. Okay, so we read that's a withered bouquet. So we shouldn't be using ×2 just because we're impatient. I mean, I'm gonna. We just shouldn't. Am I being blind? Oh yeah, I was being blind. Ah! That ×4. Am I saving time? I don't know. Like shoes. You can definitely tell there's a PlayStation 2 engine underneath. One thing that's always made me a little bit grumpy in these games, is
I need food.
is that you can't turn the camera, which most of the time I don't mind, but
What do you want?
It was a bad call. Your team lost because of you.
You came to say that?
It's been 10 years.
it's been
I thought you'd be crying.
Who? Me?
You cried.
fast forward doesn't do anything here, does it? What is it?
Hey, wait! Don't go out on me! Just hold on. I'll get more wood.
Bad dog. I don't think it looks great actually. Yeah, there's a lot of action that clearly wasn't designed to be seen in HD.
Give me a break!
Click. Door. I would prefer to have Riku in this dumb suit than the Riku costume in Final Fantasy X-2.
Cool!
Using grenades. Grenades are good. Special. Use grenade. Okay, I'm stealing. I stole a grenade. Shouldn't have attacked then, I should have stolen another grenade. Steal. No grenade. Helmet looks really uncomfortable.
Phew. That was close. Hey, let me go.
Why would you think I was a fiend?
Fed! Trivida Grisa! Ifan Petit, Fapuneket Fadrik. Kuno.
Sorry. Why would they think he was a fiend? I mean, he's not human, I'll give him that, but still, why would they think that? I'm gonna keep pressing it, it's gonna keep doing nothing.
Kid, it's die job.
Hey, that hurts.
Usujek, right?
Whoa. Okay.
Canis.
It's brother.
Right, whatever.
Tui Hood Kabeg?
Swimming goggles.
I said I don't understand.
He's miming it. Follow his mime.
said you can stay if you make yourself useful.
You understand me? All right, I'll work.
Cool. Let's save our game. What's this? It's our bed primer. The Y is A. That makes sense. The vowels. Resist the urge to fast forward.
Oh, almost forgot.
Using the sphere grid. It's fine. You don't need to teach me this game. Okay, comparing this to Final Fantasy 13 again, because I appreciate this is a little overwhelming, but it makes sense. It's just a grid. So I know how to do all this. Gonna speed through. Assume we can't fast forward through this. No, no. If anyone asks, I'll explain what's going on. But other than that, I'll skip through this. There's a lot of writing. So, what I also like, it's interesting. So I've been trying to make my own game using a program called Game Maker, and the thing that Game Maker doesn't have that other game making programs has is a built-in GUI system, or specifically a system tied into sort of Windows and how their functions. So whenever you make HUDs, they feel PlayStation 2-ish, and so one of the ways you can sort of see is the way the box. And like, obviously this isn't even the original graphics. They've just replaced graphics with HD versions though. The way it sort of stretches, because there's different ways you could do that. You don't necessarily have to stretch the graphic out like they do there. You could just, you could have the two walls go out and then like reveal the inner thing. And that wouldn't have a weird, like a stretchy effect, which I think it, so I don't know actually which one they do. They might do that. It goes by so quickly, hard to tell. But like, it's just not how Windows does things, I guess. What I do like is, because I can also steal ideas, is how it fades out on the left and right. Slightly see-through. This is useful. Yeah, hang on. I still. Some of these buttons I probably should be paying attention to, like the actual literal controls, which I'm sure to forget. But it's fine. So, where do we want to go? Jinx. Don't want Jinx. Don't care about Jinx and Lancet, so we're clearly not going that direction. Dark Attack potentially. Like, I always pick the complicated grid, and then I always go like, well, I'm just going to put one as the things we obviously want for him, like Flea. Like, we're going to want Flea. Is everyone here? Like, there's loads of dots. Haste. Is it? How do I zoom in and out? Okay, she starts with steal and use, of course. Level 1 is blocking the way. How do I zoom out? It did say, didn't it? There it is. Simon's attack. Magic break. That's where we want to go. No, I think that might be an Orin direction. Had I been thinking, I would have planned this. Haste is a really good ability to get, so I guess there's no harm in just going towards haste and then considering our direction after that. Because I certainly don't care about Jinx. No, buttons. I would like to know what it did. No, I don't want to move the character. I just want to know what the ability Jinx does. It's not going to tell me, is it? Okay. It's not good. I know it just did a tutorial for this. There we go. But I wasn't paying attention. Cheer seems to make sense. He's got no... He's... There we go. Where do we want to go? Folk, that doesn't seem like you should have. Spare change? Okay, that's the Riku direction. We can break out later, we don't need to break out now. She can't move, okay. Cool.
We found some ancient ruins right beneath us. It's not active now,
Map.
but there should still be some power left. We're gonna go down there and activate it. And then we should be able to salvage the big prize. Okay, let's get to work.
Roger.
Oh, you. Go this way. This is off the chain. Don't know why I'm not fast forwarding for this bit. There we go. What does it turn all the sound off? Probably should be stealing as well. Oh, the puzzle is going to be great with fast forward. It's red. It's Truss. Stole a grenade of Truss. Oh yeah, I love the use of physical space in the turn-based battles. Do I use a trigger command? Go team! Shit. Stole a grenade. Okay, I'm sure I'll pincer attack there. Probably should have healed him. Good morning, Heisenthal. Been waiting for this one for a while, I imagine. Steal a grenade. Steal a grenade from ya. How are you? Maybe lovely. Found a hole. Oh yes, I mean. Yeah, I'm very familiar with like having all the time in the world. Although sometimes, obviously, when there's vibrations, it's not necessarily my body being cheeky there. But I've also, yeah. Let's fast forward with this. I see. I feel for you then.
Futra airship.
Tradanukt van een neker.
Why did it go over the top bar then?
Hoof, roofdu, tungadib.
Hello, chaps.
Wichita.
Hey! Hey, I helped out, didn't I?
He did help out. Give him that.
Hungry.
Delicious food.
Whoa! Right on.
I've seen food, that's what it looks like. It's probably really loud.
Hey! It's because you eat too fast. Hey!
Hello there. What is your name?
Riku?
Whoa! You really do understand. Woo-hoo-hoo! Why didn't you say so earlier?
I didn't get a chance to. Everyone thought we were a fiend.
We?
Oh, we means you.
Who are you guys anyway?
We're Al Bhed. Can't you tell? Wait, you're not an Al Bhed hater, are you?
I don't even know what an Al Bhed is.
Where are you from?
Xanarkin. I'm a blitzball player.
Yeah, map.
Names?
Did you hit your head or something?
Map.
You guys hit me?
Oh, right. Do you remember anything before that?
Yeah.
So I told her everything there was to tell about Xanarkin. About life there, Blitzball, and Sin's attack.
Map.
And about how Aaron and I were engulfed in this light. I just said things as they came to mind. But then I started to wonder.
Oh, what's it? Truman Show? Because you can see that the background is a flat picture.
Say something funny?
It's hidden better than most, but it's
You were near Sin. Don't worry, you'll be better in no time. They say your head gets funny when Sin is near. Maybe you just had some kind of dream?
You mean I'm sick?
Because of Sin's toxin, yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, there is no Xanarkand anymore. Sin destroyed it 1,000 years ago. So no one plays blitzball there.
Huh? What do you mean, 1,000 years ago? But I saw Sin attack Xanarkin. You're saying that happened 1,000 years ago? No way.
Save our game. Carry on the conversation.
You said you play blitzball?
Uh-huh.
You know, you should go to Luca. Someone might know who you are, or you might find someone you recognize.
Luca?
I'll talk in a second. You don't play as Tidus in the second one, but you can get him back if you get the secret ending.
Okay, leave it to me. I'll get you to Luca. Promise. You'd rather stay here? Okay, I'll go tell the others. Wait here. Oh, and one thing. Don't tell anyone you're from Xanarkand, okay? Yevon says it's a holy place.
And I'll be playing X2 on stream. I've never finished it. I hated it at the time. Oh yeah, you played the second one as well. We probably know the same. All I know is that...
Xanarkand? Some kind of holy place?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right, I thought.
Yeah, right.
Since when?
Oh, I don't know why. I probably would have loved the job. No, I just didn't like how girly it was.
Luca? I thought Sin just took me to a faraway place that I could go back in a day or two. But 1,000 years into the future? No way! Whoa!
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it because I really like Final Fantasy V's job change system. It's like my favourite Final Fantasy. Well, one of them, anyway. So I'm looking forward to playing it now. But when it came out, I just wasn't prepared. Because that game starts off with Yuna doing a pop song, right? They're in a band and they're treasure hunters. I don't know. I just... Yeah, I hate Riku's design in the second game. As I was saying, I don't know if you were here for that. Her really dumb costume here, I'd prefer that over... Like, I don't mind her other costumes, but her main costume is awful. He's not having a great time. But yeah, I don't know how they're getting back. I will save my game. So, looking for all these, I mentioned before, I've been like trying to see what they take from earlier games. And I think the other thing about Final Fantasy X is it feels they put a lot more effort into like putting new things into the game. Like less, not new things, but less referencing. Obviously, there's a sort of weird implication that it's associated with Final Fantasy VII's world, sort of. But like... Yeah. There's a lot new in these games.
Hey, you okay?
Hey!
I don't want to go talk to Whack. I'm going over here instead. I was going to say I don't remember the music, but I've got the new soundtrack on, don't I? So... Where is he? Over there. He'd probably have to go over there. Although Waka feels a bit like Zell from 8.
You wanna try that move one more time?
Finally. Things were starting to look up.
It's about 20 hours longer than the last 3 games as well. There is less dialogue though, because it's all talked out loud.
You know, amateur. Who you play for?
The Xanarkin Abes.
Map.
Team you say again?
Oh, it's the same voice actor as Bender.
I got to,
Bender Bending Rodriguez.
my head's all foggy, like. So,
Yeah.
where this place is. Or even where I came.
Because I hate Whacker. This is more fun.
Since toxin got to you. But you're still alive. Praise be to Yevon. All right, back to practice. I'm Waka, coach and captain of the Besaid Aurochs, brother. What, you hungry? Okay, back to the village. I'll get you something.
And it's not the voice actor's fault I hate Whacker. He's a weird religious zealot, and I hate that he ends up with Lulu.
I felt like I could trust this Waka, so I just had to ask. It's true Xanarkin was destroyed, right? 1,000 years ago?
Look at that see-through texture on his
Pile of
arm
rubble
thingy.
now, isn't it?
Long time ago, there were a whole lot of cities in Spira. Big cities with machina, machines to run them. People played all day and let the machina do the work. And then, well, take a look. Sin came and destroyed the machina cities.
I appreciate he goes through an arc.
Yeah, that was about 1,000 years ago. Just like you said. If you ask me, sin's our punishment for letting things get out of hand.
Like, I don't mind this bit.
Is we gotta suffer because of what some goofballs did way back when. Of course, we must always repent for our sins. That's important. It's just that it's hard to keep at it sometimes, you know?
It was just as Riku said. Waka and Riku couldn't both be lying. Why would they?
I will say this. I'm not sure.
From the Xanarkin Daves, that was a good one, huh?
I'm not sure he was a wise choice.
Never existed, yeah? But you gotta figure, a team living in luxury like that be pretty soft, eh?
I appreciated the fact that Waka was trying to cheer me up. But at that time, all I could think about was everything that happened to me. All this started with sin.
Because everything Bender says is insincere, right?
Time, I could go home. For now, I just live life until that time came. No more worrying about where or when I was. Sure, it was hard not to think of home, but I started to feel better already. A little better.
Yeah, I think he... Oh, I think he... Hang on, why am I over there? I think he has an arc, right? So, like, that... Because he has to. Because it's all fake. But there's just there's a section of the game where the Al-Beds, because he hates the Al-Bed, right? But he's trying to cheer them up while their home's exploding. And he's just like, it's just like happy fireworks. And it's like, shut the fuck up, Whacker. You're not helping. He's just grating. Yeah, the thing, what I was going to say is, because Bender, he's funny. You know, he's an insincere character who's out from only himself. And, you know, he's got his charms. Whereas Whacker is supposed to be, like, earnest and sincere constantly, because that's the kind of guy he is. And I'm not sure they picked the right voice actor to do that. Because I've always got Bender in the back of my mind. So it just gives him an edge that I dislike. And already I don't like his character. It just means that even when he grows past his arc, there's just a bit of me that just doesn't like him very much. Oh, fuck. I went the wrong way. I just want to... There's clearly a chest on the beach that I'm going to grab. There it is. Gotta get the moon crest. I'm not going out my way to grab everything, but like I know Final Fantasy X quite well, so it might just happen anyway. And also, he ends up being paired with Lulu, and I just hate how dare that happen. So there's a point in the game where you get on some jet skis and you go to a place, and who he gets on the jet skis with changes depending on who you spoke to the most in the game, who you went up to first. And I've never not seen that cutscene with Lulu. I don't even know what the other versions look like. Yeah, well, they wanted to voice act everyone out loud. Because this is the last game with names in, right?
What's the big idea?
Do appreciate this fast forward button though. He's got Dark Attack, so we definitely don't want to go in that direction. Although I do seem to remember Whack is like one of the best people to have in your team because he's got all those attacks. And Whacker can hit things from afar. Like Lulu and Whack are just absurdly strong in this game. It's strange that they cut out the sound when you fast forward. I wouldn't have minded it just sped up. Like, I'm just sort of used to it sped up, right? So I will say I'm not going all in on this game yet, because I still got to finish Dirge of Cerberus before this. I probably won't finish Final Fantasy Tactics, because I feel like that's going to take a while. Vagrant Story is probably going to take a while as well. But this is a sort of game, I wanted to start it. Yeah, Kimari, this is a shame, because everyone loves Kimari. He's easily the worst character in this game. Because at least Riku has edge cases where she's super useful. Being able to mix potions is amazing. Yeah. It's just all these little cutscenes. The Final Fantasy 9 mod I had a button that says, hey, it takes 4 seconds to load every fight. Do you want it to take 0 seconds? It's like, yeah, please.
Let me go.
Got a favor to ask you.
But I feel like they help with pacing.
Be on your team, right?
I don't mind them, but like I like having the option to fast forward. And of course I've played this game a lot.
A major blitz tournament's coming up.
Oh, that needs a little bit more water.
I'll be there. It's so huge, I'm sure someone there will recognize you. Then you can go back to your old team, right? It'll be fun. What do you say, huh? Come on, come on.
Sure thing.
So, Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9 all use Amnesia, as well as 10. But this is the first one that goes, maybe he just doesn't know anything about the world and uses that.
I thought then that Blitzball and Sin were the only two things that Spira and Xanarkand had in common. I wasn't too far off either.
But like, it's not that just things people explaining stuff to him. It's the adventure at the start is all
This is where I was born.
dictated by him.
When I was 5. I joined the Aurochs at 13, 10 years ago. 10 years, and we never won a game. Well, after last year's tournament, I quit. Time seemed right.
I still hang out and my blitz will close up forever though. Yeah, so a lot is dictated to finding where he comes from.
But
Yeah.
every time my mind wandered, I thought about the game.
10 years without a single win will do that.
My first match last year was my big chance. But something else was on my mind. I couldn't focus.
Nice excuse.
Hey!
So you want to win the next tournament? Go out with a bang. So, what's our goal?
I don't care how we do. Long as we play our best.
Hang on, did he never win a game or never win a tournament?
I can walk away happy.
No. If I say, what's our goal? You say, victory!
Map,
When you play in a blitzball tournament, you play to win.
Victory? You're serious?
×2.
Ah, the one from the sea.
Be on guard. There are fiends on the road today.
After surviving your run-in with Sin, 'twould be a shame if something happened now.
Who are they?
Luzu and Gata, Crusaders.
Huh? Crews of what?
Hate that fucking line.
What, you forgot that too? Hey, sorry. Don't worry about it. I'll help you out.
Cool. In return, come tournament time, I'll make sure we take the cup.
Cool. About the Crusaders, you can ask them yourself. They got a lodge in it.
I assume in Japanese it's a more complex word. Give it the benefit of the doubt. But yeah, so I'll be playing Dirge after I stream with Luke.
Food there?
We'll get you something over there later. Take a look around first. Let's see. The Crusaders Lodge is over yonder. Luzu and Gata are usually there.
I don't think Luke's played this game properly either. One day we get back to streaming. I appreciate he's really busy right now.
Over here.
Huh? What's up?
You do remember the prayer, right?
I don't know any prayers.
Of course I'd never prayed before in my life. Not that he would know that.
You must have forgot or something. Here, I'll show you.
Fuck, I've got amnesia.
Go ahead, you try.
Isn't that your football chant?
Not bad. Okay, now go present yourself to the temple summoner.
Any blitzball player would know that prayer. It was the blitzball sign for victory.
That's a really weird bit of the game, that the blitzball. I thought as a prayer it makes sense. It's a little bit elaborate, but like this is quite a religious world where people get, natural disasters, kaiju take out entire towns. Elaborate prayer makes sense. But like, can you imagine an actual sport where the players would be like, yeah, victory! Like, it's a really delicate, elegant movement. Well, it's not elegant, delicate, what I meant. And precise. And like, you don't tend to get that in sports. It's like, it's doesn't tend to be, ooh, go victory, go Zanuck and Dabes. Let's check out all these buildings. I'm not going to be reading any of this out loud because it's the game has already dictated the important stuff. So, oh yes, when I first played this game, I did not have a PlayStation 2. I was still in school, and my dad could not afford a PlayStation 2, so I had a friend. I remember he had like a jacket with it was like 500 quid or something, which is like his parents had jobs and stuff. And he lent me his PlayStation 2 and Final Fantasy X, which to me was like, wow, you do that? Like, And to him, it was just like, no, I'm playing Final Fantasy. He got Final Fantasy 11. He was playing it in Japanese, which meant installing it in Japanese. And it's a difficult game to install now in English.
To the temple summoner before we eat, yeah?
But I remember, because it was at that point, it was around then, that I was trying to see all the similarities between all the Final Fantasy games. And I'd noticed, every single Final Fantasy, there's a sort of fake villain on the back of the box. The back of the box will always talk about like an evil empire, but it won't tell you about the main villain. So it will say in Final Fantasy VII, Shinra, President Shinra and the Shinra troops are doing evil things, but it doesn't mention Sephiroth. The new versions of Final Fantasy VII does, obviously, but if you get the dual case for the PlayStation 1 version, it does not mention Sephiroth on the back cover. It just mentions Shinra. In Final Fantasy VIII, it will talk about the Dilling Empire. I've forgotten what they're called. But it certainly won't tell you about fucking, the time travel thing. Yeah, there's always a red herring. It always talks about the evil army, but never about the main thing. So Final Fantasy 9 doesn't tell you about Kuja. It tells you about, I've forgotten her name, Queen Bran. Final Fantasy 8 doesn't tell you about Ultimecia. It tells you about Ida instead, which does make sense, even though they're the same person. And so if you look at the back of the box, I asked my friend, it doesn't have an army on the back of the box, because it doesn't. It tells you about Sin, but it doesn't say. And I asked my friend, is there like an evil army in this game, like all the others? And he was like, how bad? He said, and what I realised later on is Sin is the evil army. It's just, you take all those troops and you crush them up into a giant ball, and they act the same way. Like if you go around Final Fantasy 9, Queen Bran is going around destroying countries in the same way that Sin does. Sin functions exactly the same way, to the point that instead of having a queen or an evil president or an evil dictator, you have Jecht, who's controlling Sin. So functionally they do work the same, but it's like they've every single of these early games to have these little twists like that where they play with the formula. I do not care about that. Let's talk to you two.
Hey, you were attacked by Sin, right? Recently, was it?
I think so.
So Sin can't be far, right? You're not hiding anything, are you?
Why would I?
If Sin's nearby, it'll attack the island for sure. But it hasn't. I wonder why.
I'm sorry, I really don't know anything. To tell the truth, I don't even know what the Crusaders are.
You're kidding, right?
Sin, the toxin. Gotta tell him who we are.
Yes, sir.
You gotta.
The Crusaders are sworn to battle Sin. We have chapters throughout Spira, accepting all who wish to join our struggle. The hero Mihen formed the Crusaders 800 years ago as the Crimson Blades. Later, our ranks grew and we called ourselves the Crusaders. We've been fighting Sin ever since.
But yeah, his amnesia gives him full excuse to explain shit, I guess.
And you still haven't beat it?
Well, we've steered Sin away from towns many times.
Have you?
That's all we can do. Nobody's ever been able to defeat it. Our mission as Crusaders is to protect the temples, towns, villages, and people of Spira.
So, then whose job is it to defeat Sin?
Is Sin's toxin really this bad, sir?
It does seem rather bad. We could just tell you, but I think it better for you to try and remember.
Fuck you, Lucy, tell me.
Temple. Perhaps Yevon will help you regain your memory.
So yeah, it's a bit red herring and more like, obviously you don't want to give away the entire plot on the back of the box. So you need to have some sort of antagonist, some reason they're doing anything, right? Even and the box has got to be simplified. Cat. Oh yeah, I was gonna say this picture here, it took me ages. It took me 2 hours to get this picture working, just because this logo is not available. I had to build this logo from composite parts because this is the official logo of the game, but like just finding it in this form where it's transparent in the background. Because if you look for transparent versions, it deletes all the white and it just doesn't look good on that background. Anyway, I'll be right back. So yeah, and like I challenge anyone to find it quicker, because you can find this exact thing in really, really low resolution, and I didn't want it to be really low. And also, this picture here, like, I found it really difficult to find Final Fantasy X official art, because these, you may remember, they're like 6 postcards with featuring each of the main characters, but they're the wrong shape. And if you stretch them out, they don't necessarily look good. And I didn't want an in-game screenshot, which this basically is. It's a part of a cutscene. It is a official promo picture, but I'd like... It's like the newer games have better, more HDR, and the older games either have remasters or they have things that you could build. But like... Ooh. Also, I put that on the wrong side, didn't I? So I'm going to cut this out and then reply to you with the actual game on the screen. Yeah, I don't think Final Fantasy does Chosen One storylines, strangely enough. Like, you're special in all the Final Fantasy games, but you never find out until, like, most of the way through. In fact, I believe there's a moment in every single Final Fantasy where the player, the main character, will be told a truth about the world or about themselves, and it'll break them. In Final Fantasy IX, this moment's really funny, because in Final Fantasy IX, you find out, you're from a different planet, and you're a Shinigami. Yeah, your role in life was to facilitate the souls going from one planet to another. And it's like, oh shit, and a song plays, it's called You Are Not Alone. And he goes through 3 corridors, and just Vivi goes up to him and goes, do you want to hang out? And he goes, piss off, Vivi, I don't like you anymore, I'm not happy. And then you get to the 3rd room, and just Dagger's like, the fuck you doing? And then and then he goes, oh yeah, I was being a dick, wasn't I? Sorry about that. And then you're fine again. It's just a really funny scene in Final Fantasy IX. In Final Fantasy VII, you have to explore, you have to go into his soul and piece together his memories. And in Final Fantasy IX, you just walk down a corridor. And in Final Fantasy VIII, it's the worst scene in the game, because in Final Fantasy VIII, it's when they... I'll replay Final Fantasy VIII, because I might be associating one scene with another. Obviously, there's a scene in Final Fantasy VIII where they all realise they've all got amnesia, and that's an awful scene, because it's like, this is a bad twist. But I guess the actual real version is Skull realising that he's like a part of a time loop. I don't know, I'll have to replay that game.
It was then, standing in that place.
Do I have sound? I do have sound, cool.
I began to realize how different this world was from my own.
Look, he's got one of those puzzles on his belly. I'm gonna love doing the puzzles with fast forward. Oh yeah, they do that in Final Fantasy 14.
High Summoner. And finally, we receive a statue for our temple.
Yeah, you're right, they do.
Oh, what's a High Summoner? I got too close to Sin's toxin.
Oh, he got too close to the toxin. Yeah, 14 does do that. It's kind
funny hearing myself make the same excuse over and over. Funny, and a little sad.
The summoners are practitioners of a sacred art, sworn to protect the people of Yevon. Only a chosen few become summoners.
The plot to Final Fantasy 14 at the start is really weird.
The Aeons. The Aeons hear our prayers and come down to us. They are the blessing of Yevon.
Okay, there's been something that's been...
What he meant. Was that we should respect some kind of great men or something like that, I figured.
So, yeah, sorry. Every time I've been playing other games, one of the things I remember from my first playthrough of Final Fantasy X, it's not done it yet, is that there are these really short lines, and they go, yeah, like they're all affirmative, or we'll notice it soon. And I don't know if they'll do it in this game. You know, it's that they'll say, yeah, I know, you know, and I believe they replace sort of, you know, in Japanese dialogue, they'll sometimes just make noise, and like you understand what they mean from like and that'll mean something, right? Because it's just how people talk in real life. It's just difficult to translate, and they replace them with, you know, I know, but it's not just that. It's that on the PlayStation 2 version, those lines cut out just before the end, so it's, you know, and it cuts off, and it's not him putting a P. It's not saying yelp, whelp. It's, you know, and it cuts off, and it's really noticeable. But they're not doing this here. But what I have noticed is, because the audio is a higher quality, I can hear that they've sped up all the dialogue, and I assume they sped up all the dialogue to just make everything a little bit quicker and to fit like on the original disc. And I probably wouldn't have noticed it because of the low quality, but everyone seems just a smidge, like the tiniest bit sped up, and it's really like throwing me every time somebody talks. Like, I keep thinking I've pressed the fast forward button. So I think, yeah, they do have the Crystal Warriors. So I guess Final Fantasy 1, any game that has the Crystal Warriors have chosen ones, which is 1, 3, and 5. Although in 5, I guess it does open up doors because you immediately meet princesses. And Final Fantasy 14 puts itself in the same, like, essentially goes out of its way to say, hey, Final Fantasy 1, 3, 5, they imply heavily they're in the past. I mean, specifically with Final Fantasy 3, they literally go out their way to canonize it. But the implication is they're like, it's a repeating cycle, which is a thing that Final Fantasy 3 introduces and 5 uses with 2 planets. So I guess it was sort of forced to do the chosen one, but yeah, I do get it, like, with Hydaelyn and Alpha Node, boy, that would be really annoying. Only sworn guardians may approach the Cloister of Trials. Okay, I'm going to have to disappear in 10 minutes, so I can't start a giant section, but I'm sure we'll be fine. Have I missed something? I'll go in again. Who have I talked to? Is there like the sister I can talk to? Yeah, I can. Obviously, these aren't 3D rooms. It's interesting that some of the rooms aren't 3D. What am I supposed to do? Maybe I'll talk to Waka. Impossible. Take a nap. I guess I should let you go then. I'll figure out what to do next time. We're right. There's 10 minutes to go, and there's a set point right here. Yeah, so I found the Final Fantasy X logo, and I had to cut out this HD remaster from a different logo that had an entire white background, and glue it on. But like, if you try and find that, you'll only find versions that have the white gone. Because if you get a white background and you tell it to remove the white, it's going to remove all the white, not just the bit you want gone. But yeah, anyway, finding out was a bastard. Thank you very much for watching. I've been having Final Fantasy X adventure. It was, I mean, I'm not lying when I said it took me a couple of hours to do. Mainly because just like you set up and you're like, okay, just grab this. It won't take too long. And it was just a massive, this, I'm not even keen on this picture. The other thing is this logo is really goddamn big and unwieldy. The other reason is when they made a HD logo, they put the two games, Final Fantasy X, Final Fantasy X-2, as a combined logo. And you can find that really easily. I just didn't want the combined logo. I wanted the original Final Fantasy X logo, and then with the HD bar, which exists because it's on certain media. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.